I'm looking for a creek of gold. It's somewhere I just know. Some say it's hidden and some say it's not. I'll keep on searching, what else have I got? Continue on the quest, 'cause there's no time to rest. Just dig and pan some more. I'm looking for that creek of gold. It's somewhere I just know. Hey, Grandpa here. Well, we're on a family outing. We're at a really nice creek, and we're in the Georgia Gold Belt. We're by a nice little place I found, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not telling, because it's a special little spot that me and my family are going to share. And if you can look at trees and grass and rocks and you can figure it out, if they're taking pictures from the satellite at the right time, you might catch my hat from up at the satellite and you'll know where it is. But anyway, what we're doing is this is what we're going to call the next 4 or 5 episodes Grandpa's Traveling Gold Show. And by traveling I mean the gold travels from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the creek. And that's what this whole show is going to be about. Now, I'm going to have a little story here for the grandkids. You guys can listen in. And once upon a time, there was this little speck of gold. And this little speck of gold lived on a rock. And this rock was way up on the side of the mountain. And that's where he lived, on this rock, that little speck of gold. Well, one day, up higher on the mountain, there was a squirrel. And this squirrel was sitting on a big rock. And there wasn't any gold on that rock. But the squirrel was sitting on the rock and he was eating his acorns. All of a sudden, down the trail came a fox. And the squirrel saw the fox. He thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to get eaten up. So he went and he jumped. And when he jumped, he knocked the rock he was sitting on out from underneath him. And it rolled down the hill. And it rolled down the hill and rolled down the hill and rolled down the hill. And it hit the rock where our little friend the gold flake was. Okay, now what happened to this gold flake? He got knocked off of the rock. The two rocks banged together, and there was a little piece of stone with the gold flake on, and he got knocked off. So here he was all by himself. Well, that afternoon, there was a real heavy rainstorm. And the rain came over the mountain, and it was blowing, and there was thunder and lightning, a real heavy rain. And the rain washed our little friend, the gold flake, down the hill. And after the rain, he was almost down to the creek, but not quite. The next day, it rained again, and it washed him into the creek. So he sat there, now what am I going to do? Well, that winter, he sat there all winter, and in the spring, the snows up on the top of the mountain melted. And the water came down the hill, and it flooded the creek. And when it flooded the creek, it rolled all the rocks and moved all the sand and silt, and it washed our little friend, the gold flake. And guess where that little gold flake ended up? He ended up in this pile of rocks. Somewhere in here is where he lives now. And when we go gold prospecting, we want to find out where he lives, because we want to put him in our little jar and take him home, make sure he's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to test different spots on this hard-packed rock. And this is on the inside of a turn on the creek. That's where gold likes to live. So that's what we call prospecting. And it's all about how the gold travels from the top of the mountain and gets down to the bottom. And if the gold lives here long enough and he gets washed, he may end up way down, 5 feet down on a big piece of bedrock. And he may live there thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And someday some guy will come along and dig down a deep enough hole and he'll find him. and he'll take him home, and he'll take care of him. But today we want to find that little gold flake. So Grandpa dug some stuff out of the bank over here, out of the hard packed rock, and we're going to put it in a pan. And this is just cold panning for everybody, okay? I haven't found anything. I haven't done any sampling here. But what we're going to do, I've got my pan, and then just for a little test, I brought along some of Grandpa's little pink nuggets, because there aren't any rocks in nature that are this ugly. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this nugget right on top of the sand. These are sitting right there, isn't he, Bethany? The little pink right there. That's our little lead nugget. Now, we're going to go and we're going to put a rock this big right beside him. And what's going to happen when Grandpa gets this agitated? That little piece of lead is half as heavy as gold. And he's going to go to the bottom of the pan. And you know where this great big rock is going to go? He's going to float right out. Because he's lighter than the gold and lighter than the lead. So we're going to get down here and we're going to do some panning. First I got to move that big rock. He was in the story. We're going to get this agitated real good, and we take our time, get plenty of water in there, get the sand real water-like, mix a lot of water in, get it real liquefied. Now, we're going to shake it, and there's no hurry to doing this, because we want the lead, and hopefully there'll be some little specks of gold in this pan too. We don't know, because if there are, there's probably more in the bucket. And that was just from like 5 shovelfuls. So now we're going to start panning this out. We put it in the water and we go slow. We go slow. And we bring it back, agitate it some more. You see where the big rock is every once in a while? He keeps floating up to the top. We have to keep watching and seeing if we see that little pink one floating up to the top. So we're going to pan real slow, work it back into the bottom like that, and wiggle it. Get everything settled in. Now watch, everybody. What's going to happen? Oh my goodness, what's happening? That big rock is making his way closer to the front of the pan, isn't he? Well, let's try and knock him back down in there. Okay, we're going to shake him like this, and we're going to take out some of the heavy stuff. See how he's hiding there on us? Okay, we're going to do a little bit more. Shake it real good. Okay, and we're going to pan, take our time, and if there's any heavy stuff, the plan is, plans don't always work out the way you want them to. You can ask people about the health care plan. And we just keep doing this real slow. Now look at how the rock, all the other stuff is heavy, and it's on the bottom. The rock is sitting on top. Okay, we're going to shake him in there. All right, now what we're going to do, because we're so close, we're going to pick him out. Because we don't want him to slip out and pull out some nice pieces of, oh my goodness, what happened? Do you see anything in there?
The pink.
What? Say it louder.
The pink.
The pink is there. Okay, so now we bring it all back in, and that big rock was sitting on top, and that little piece of lead, that pink lead, was sitting on the bottom. Now we're going to go and we're going to let this sit like this, and we're going to try panning it back. We want the water to real careful pick out and wash the light stuff away. See how the lead stays sitting there? That little pink nugget? Watch how it sits there. I got to get some of this out of here. We're going to pan it out real easy in case there's any in that black sand. We don't mind keeping the black sand in there, but we don't want the other stuff to go. So we're going to put a little bit more water down here, and we're going to try panning it away again. Maybe if I go this way. Grandpa's got to see what he's doing. Okay, see the little piece of lead there? I'm going to show everybody on camera. You see that right there? That little speck. I don't know if it's going to show up that well. Mindy's there. She's looking. Mindy, what is that?
It's gold.
The little speck. I'll move this piece of lead out of the way, and I'm just going to throw a little, and we're going to try a little bit more. We're just going to shove him back down in. We're going to work through this again, just to give it a little more chance. Just by rocking that water and letting it carry the black sand back. I normally save the black sand when I get down to this far and run it through my material, my equipment at home, because there could be some real flower find there. That's just a little speck. But that's a speck of gold. See that little speck right there? See that? Here, Emily, come over and look at it. See that little speck? That's what we're looking for when we pan. That's why we take our time. Patty, you want to see it? Clay, you want to see it? Okay, there we go. Good. That's a son-in-law and a daughter. You know, they're not into Grandpa's gold shield quite as much as other people are. But now you've heard the story of the little gold fleck. You know how he got down to our pan. He wasn't very big. But this is where he ended up, and we were lucky enough to find him today, because the old saying is, when you're a gold prospector, gold is where you find it. And it could be anywhere from the top of that mountain to the bottom of the bedrock in the creek. I hope you all really liked it. We're going to be doing some more stuff, but this was for the grandkids and all the other kids out there that wanted to learn about basic gold prospecting. That's Grandpa here. God bless you. I'm looking for a creek of gold. It's somewhere I just know. Some say it's hidden and some say it's not. I'll keep on searching. What else have I got? Continue on the quest, 'cause there's no time to rest. Just dig and pan some more. I'm looking for that creek of gold. It's somewhere I just know.